Depart from life to eternity. The thought makes us almost melancholy. Depart from life to eternity. The thought makes us almost melancholy. Though we may be suffering excruciatingly, still among the living we would rather be. And that's why I say with no grief or regret we cannot escape the arrows of death. It matters not how cruel to us the world may be, how we may be ostracized from society, groveling in the gutter in abject poverty, fighting but failing miserably. Still we desperately cling with vice-like tenacity to prolong our lives interminably. And that's why I say with no grief or regret we cannot escape the arrows of death. You can be a king as Nebuchadnezzar, you can be as old as Methuselah, just as Abraham, our forefather, wise old Solomon who walked with the Queen of Sheba. However stoical may be your philosophy, we're living on the brink of eternity. And that's why I say with no grief or regret we cannot escape the arrows of and I say, just in case you forget, we cannot escape the arrows of. Okay, in that song, I'm basically doing a double tone progression. I use the Carmen lick as a break. I use the diminished. It's exactly what I was doing in the other key, 2 frets lower. The only added variation is I made a little bit of a chord substitution of some sharp diminished. Instead of going, which is D, D7, G minor, what I did was D sharp diminished, and then I suspended the G minor. Then I did the same thing. Instead of going C7, I went C sharp, 2 C sharp diminished to this little F. So let me put that together again. Into Gypsy in a Can. Arpeggiated G minor. And then octaves. I'll repeat that. I also did a few percussive things on there. On the D7, I'm hammering a whole chord and then hitting. A very important cautionary word about that: if you have a wooden guitar, and you notice I'm using my guitar here and not Happy Trom's nice wooden guitar there, it's very important to only do percussive stuff on the fingerboard where the neck joins the body. That's the only part of the guitar that's strong enough to handle that. And it's important to have a very strong left hand to squeeze those chords loud enough to hear them. So practice hammering on. There's my G minor, there's the C7. F is pretty hard to hammer. That's a lot to ask of any hand. And I'm actually tapping quite lightly, just with a very concentrated stroke. Okay, that's the Death Calypso, a standard double-tone calypso. The calypso tradition is quite a rich one. As I mentioned earlier, it was a way of reporting the news, and actually the West African griot tradition of the village storyteller goes back hundreds and hundreds of years, and before there was written records of family histories, the village griot would actually tell these stories in song, and they would be praising the local kings and chiefs, but there would always be just a very slight hint of insult involved as well. And I think it relates to the American Southern blues tradition of the dozens, where singers used to insult each other in crafty, poetic ways. And in fact, the Calypso tradition to me is quite interesting. I think it represents maybe some of the highest flowering of black intellectual culture. There were carnivals in Trinidad where the mayor of the town would hand the top singers an envelope with a topic in there, and the singers would have to make up a story about that topic. The words would have to be long and complicated, it would have to rhyme, it would have to be funny and satirical. And it's a rare culture where intellect was considered a macho quality. So I'm quite fascinated by that.